All right. Okay, so welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And I'm going to light a candle that has 2 wicks. And the first wick I light represents, let's see if you can see it. Well, you can kind of see it. Represents God, all that is. And the second one I light represents us as community, and together we shine a greater light whenever we get together. All right, so John, I'll let you lead us in a song.
Well, it's the first of the month, so we can start off with New Start.
Great.
A new start.
Okay.
We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is an art, a good start from the heart, living in a better way. Working together with the skills of man, helping each other. We are making a new start, willing to do our part today. Creative action is an art, a good start from a heart, from living in a way.
Okay, well, we just lost John. Living in. Oh, we just lost everybody. Wow.
We'll have to sign them on again, make a new start.
Yeah, something.
I can see everyone.
Okay, I just have to get back to, I don't know what I did.
You went to speaker.
Here we go. I went to speaker and then I lost everybody. Come on. Get back in Zoom, please. That's what I want. Oh, come on. And I click on it. All I want to. Okay.
Let's check.
Here we go. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what I did. Okay.
I'm not
See
laughing
us
at
now.
you. I'm
I
laughing
see
at
you guys.
I'm laughing at the down website app.
Okay.
Check
All
it.
right. I see you guys. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is so I don't touch it again. All right. Well, anyways, thank you, John. I'm sure you'll be back with us when you can. So it's a new start. So today the speaker's going to be Michael. He's going to be speaking. He has a 4th of July talk, Independence Day talk. And then the next week I'm going to be speaking. And then the following week, Tim, did you want to speak again or when you're doing your music or not? It's up to you. You don't have to.
Maybe next month.
In August. Okay, no problem. All right, so then I'll be the speaker again. And then I think Jonathan's going to be the speaker on the 4th Sunday. So, all right. Well, anyways, that's pretty much what's going on here. And of course, we got the Independence Day coming up here with holiday and all that. So, and at that point, should we give Mike or we'll give John a few more moments? But if he doesn't come in here soon, why don't you do announcements, Michael?
Oh, okay.
While we're waiting on John to get back in.
Announcements. Yeah, so yeah, we're getting rave reviews about from Carol Ann's meditation. That was wonderful. People, some of the we invited some of the people from CSL, and she got some very nice comments back. So it's how wonderful. So yeah, yeah, stuff is stuff is happening on ntmedia.org. So that's where I'm helping out. So
John's
hey,
back.
John.
Who kicked me out?
No, you kicked yourself out.
All I was doing was singing. I don't know why.
No, you kept going in and out, fading in and out. You kept,
Really?
yeah, for a few minutes. You could hear you, and then you
It was
couldn't hear
glitching.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah, there was something wrong with Zoom connection there.
yeah, but at least you're
So
back.
why don't we do meditation?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So why don't you go ahead and get started?
All right. Let's see if we can do that without a glitch.
Nope.
We are love in the heart of each other. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of each other. We are light, a radiant flame. We are light in the heart of each other. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of each other. We are light, radiant flame. We are love in the heart of the universe. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of the universe. We are light, radiant flame. We are love in the heart of creation. We are one and all the same. We are free in the pulse of creation. We are light, radiant flame. Ah,
And we are light, a radiant flame. And as we gather together, just take a moment to take in a deep breath and then just release and relax. Just take in another deep breath and relax and allow your chair to support you. Let's do one more great big deep breath in. And this, as we blow that out, allow any tension that's in your body, from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. Any tension that is there, just be released. Let it go back into the nothingness from which it came. And knowing that spirit is all there is. Whether you want to call it spirit, God, mind, creator, life force, universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it, it is all there is. every part of every person, every blade of grass, the rocks, every drop of water, grains of sand, each animal, each insect, and especially each person. We are all one with the universal consciousness, with spirit. And as we gather together today, I just know that we are one with spirit. We are one with love and light, joy, peace, wisdom, power, beauty. We are one with all the magnificent things that spirit is. And that's a part of us. We are a part of everything. And we are one with spirit. So with that, I speak my word for our group today, for Summit Center for Spiritual Living, for our opportunity to gather together, to be in a free world, free country, I should say, that allows us to worship and to be able to not have to worry about repercussions for being a different type of thinking.
You could be a
I'm
different
grateful
person
for
though
all
and
the
get
men
touched.
and women that have given their lives for our country, for the time that from the beginning, I'm just grateful and thankful for each and every one of them and the families and whether they weren't necessarily in the wars or the anything else, but they still had a part because they were supporting their family members in some way, if nothing else, in prayer, as always. I'm grateful that we can have that opportunity to pray, to be able to pray and say it out loud and not have to hide it. I am just grateful and thankful for the United States of America and for this beautiful world that we have. The wonderful nature, Mother Nature throughout the world, as far as the mountains and the oceans and the prairies, everything. So I now give thanks for, again, each and every person that's here. Grateful that everyone is here, and even those that are not, we know for them their best and highest good, and or that as you are joining us later in a rebroadcast, then we also am grateful for that. But I'm thank you to Michael for being our speaker today. Thank you to John doing the music, for Hannah doing the Facebook feed, for Carol Ann being here, Kyle being here, Tim being here, and of course myself. I'm just grateful and thankful. And I now release my word into the law, knowing it is already done because I spoke it. And so it is, and so I let it be. Amen.
Be alone in the heart of love.
Retake.
We are one. and all the sea. We are free in the palms of spirit. We are like a ray.
It's a good thing he's not speaking today because I think I would kill myself. He used to fix things.
Okay, and as you open your eyes, please look into the camera and look in each other's eyes and see that beautiful spirit within of each and every person. Just take that moment, feel it, see it, know it, that we are all together, even though we may be miles apart. We're still here, and we can see one another and experience that. All right. So, thank you, everybody, and thank you, John. So we're going to, Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you.
One technical thing, John, make sure that your original sound from musicians is
Well, it
on.
was on, but I get glitched out, and now it's. I just turned back.
Is it on?
Now it is.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah, because
It
you were
wasn't.
cutting in and out. So.
Again
Well,
with the.
good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy 4th of July. And let me go. Hey, there she is. Angela. Angela's here. Whole gang. All right. So, what I want to talk about today, since we're talking about freedom this weekend, I just thought this is a talk that I originally wrote when the pandemic started, and that a lot of people were in fear. And so I thought I would share it with you today. It's called Freedom from Worry. And the topic brings up a couple of stories. An exasperated husband asked his wife, "Why are you always worrying when it doesn't do any good?" And she quickly piped back, "Oh, yes, it does. 90% of the
Why
things
does
I
it keep
worry about
doing that?
never happen."
Like, why is the tape the thing that's
Ralph
saving
was
it?
head over heels in trouble,
I just don't
but
get it.
doing little to help
Like,
himself.
what
A
did
friend advised, "Ralph, you
not
got two
taping it
hands.
do to it?
Why don't you do something?" And he said, "I am. I'm ringing both of them." Ta-da, boom. It's interesting when we are going through times. It's extremely easy to worry. Well, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to eat? I hope I don't get sick. And these are definitely some of the thoughts that go through people's minds. Now, the definition defines worry as giving way to anxiety or unease, allowing one's mind to dwell on difficulties or
Given or
troubles.
not to anxiety. What
In
just
other
happened?
words, our
Often
mind
women have
dwells
anxiety
on the
disorder.
worst possible scenario, thinking that will help. So from our teaching of the science of mind and spirit, we learn that what we focus on with feeling tends to manifest as that thing or another dis-ease or outcome. So knowing that, why do we worry? So using the writings of Dr. Ernest Holmes, and also a man who I had the honor of, he was one of my professors at Holmes Institute, Dr. Martin Rossman. I'm not sure if Carol Ann's familiar with him, probably is. But Marty Rossman was one of the pioneers of mind-body medicine, still in practice today. He has a wonderful book called The Worry Solution. And again, it's available online. Wonderful book. So from the book called How to Use Your Power, Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote this in his chapter, How to Stop Worrying. He says, Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could learn how to stop worrying? You and I know how futile it is to fuss and fret. 9 times out of 10, when we ask ourselves, why are we so worked up? We can't put our finger on any definite reason or incident in our lives that started a worried pattern of thought. Again, Holmes continues, he says, why then do we worry? Jesus said, take no anxious thought for the morrow. He then added that there's a truth that can set you free from the need to worry about anything. Holmes continues, modern science and our new religious outlook are doing more to help us overcome our worries today than ever before. Science is showing us why we worry, and religion is teaching us why we don't have to worry. And this should mean a great deal to us because everyone worries about something. At the same time that everyone worries about something, very few people understand what worry is or how it works. Holmes continues. He said, the question then arises, where does worry come from? How does it get there in the first place? Well, let's see what psychology has to offer to explain where our worries come from. It is broadly agreed that worry is a thought pattern. We can all understand this because we are all acquainted with patterns, whether they are patterns for baking a cake or building a house. So psychology, again, Holmes continues, psychology also tells us that these anxiety thought patterns were either acquired either in infancy or early childhood. And usually they were imposed upon us by well-meaning but poorly informed adults, usually our parents, through such simple things as saying, well, you can't do that. You're a bad person. You're no good, and so on. And these statements of rejection and condemnation repeated so many times that the infant mind accepted them as a truth about themselves. And this negative idea became, by the way of illustration, like a stained glass window through which the rays of light are to be filtered and conditioned through the rest of the child's life unless the negative thought patterns are dissolved. Again, Holmes continues, he says, today, when you and I worry, it is because that we are seeing a present situation that is colored by the mental stained glass windows of many years ago. In other words, because worry or anxiety thought patterns exist within us, we then attach them to the conditions at hand. It is like a monotonous tune being played over and over again in their mind, and one from which they can't seem to free themselves. But we know now, Ernest Holmes wrote, we know now that these worry patterns can be healed. There's great hope. The anxious heart today, even though than ever before in human history. And we should not accept this lightly. It is important that each of us overcomes our anxieties and fears because they are undesirable companions. Wonderful words from Ernest Holmes. So our worries then come from subconscious patterns. Dr. Martin Rossman says that our brains are hardwired from the Stone Age to anticipate danger. So if you're about to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, having some anxiety may help. However, worrying about a future that has not come yet is not a bad thing. If and only if you use worry to put together a plan of action in both your thinking and in the outer world. So what stresses us out, Dr. Rossman wrote, he said, when we imagine over and over again the worst case scenario, incessant worry does not help us come up with positive solutions. So before I give you some practical suggestions in overcoming worry, I want to tell you the story of Jimmy. Jimmy was one of my neighbors in Pennsylvania. I called him the neighborhood mystic. Jimmy lived right across the street from me. Now, most people in the neighborhood thought that Jimmy was nuts. So when he does is he shares a little bit of wisdom with you to see how you will take it. If you react in a positive manner, then Jimmy will share a little bit more. So here's a true story. So Jimmy told me that he used to worry all the time about everything. And then one day while driving his truck, Jimmy had a revelation. What if he started to worry in the opposite direction? What if he started to think about having so much money in the bank that he didn't know what to do with it? Jimmy realized that by using his will and imagination in the wrong way, he created all kinds of trouble in his life. So he started to think about what he wanted instead, and his life improved. I can't make that up. That is a true story. Jimmy was a wonderful, wonderful neighbor. So from the Old Testament book of Job, we read from chapter 3, verse 25, "For the things I've greatly feared have come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me." All right, so how do we change things around? We do that by using our will and our imagination. We must first choose by the use of will. That's our power within us to choose. Not to think about the worst case scenario and to imagine the best possible outcome. Marty Rossman suggested using the Serenity Prayer as a formula for overcoming worry. And he says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So here's some suggestions here that we can apply today to help us overcome worry. The first one is make a 3-column list. In your first column is all the worries that you can do something about. All right? So that's your first column. The second column is put down all the things you can't change, with the third column left open to list down all the things you don't know what to do about them. I'll read those over again. First column, all the worries you can do something about. Second column, put down all the things you can't change, with the third column being all the things that you don't know what to do about them, okay? So, from the first column of the things you can change, list each on a separate sheet of paper, each worry, and then make up a plan of action. The one thing that you can always do is control your thinking. And again, sometimes the outer world seems like chaos. But the one thing we can always control is our thinking. We have the freedom to think what we want to think. So, start thinking about the best possible outcomes for each, and then start moving your feet, start taking some action. All right? For the column that you can't change, find a way to accept it and let it go. So Dr. Rossman suggests the letting go ritual, like putting worry on a piece of paper and then burning it. Some individuals put their concerns into a worry or God jar as a symbolic gesture that they are now letting go of the problem into Spirit's hands to take care of. And I have something free to share with you. If you go on Dr. Rossman's site, which is called thehealingmind.org, you can click on a free meditation on positive worry. Start thinking about the best possible outcomes instead of the worst. If you start worrying about anything, notice that you're worrying and using the observer self. And then stop it by putting a big red circle with a slash through the unwanted thought or image. Cancel. And then start thinking about what you want instead. And that's so wonderful. And how do you cultivate that observer self? Well, you cultivate that by daily meditation. What happens is, and this is what I have found and also in other people, is as they meditate, what happens is that it's not another entity, but it's just something that just says, well, now hold it. This is what you're doing. You may want to change it. So in the last column, if you don't know what to do, then you can affirm that the divine intelligence within me shows me what to do and how to do it. And again, you can check out Dr. Rossman's free visualizations on how to access your inner wisdom through a technique called the Inner Advisor. So worry is just the wrong use of our divine power. Our ego wants us to believe that if we worry about a problem or situation, that it will solve it. No, wrong. Worry just stresses you out and keeps the problem alive. So I'll let Dr. Holmes have the last word from the book in How to Use Your Power. He wrote, "We are rooted in pure spirit and in pure life. And we will be free from fear and doubt and worry only if we find a faith and confidence and a conviction greater than our former limitation. For every fear, we must find a faith, and we must substitute certainty for uncertainty. Just put this to work and see what happens. Say to yourself that there's something within me that is never afraid, no matter what the appearances may be. There is something within me that is never anxious, because it knows that everything is all right in spite of my feeble and futile worries. Again, say to yourself, I am endowed with courage and confidence. I face life with the seed of victory in my attitudes and in my expectations." He said, "Know that as you go forth from this point, life only holds the best for you. And even if you begin to think and move in such direction, you will discover blessings in all that you do that are greater than what you might have dared to dream while you stood quaking before the ghost of your former fears."
Mhm.
Faith is the only complete answer to our worries, faith in something that's greater than we are. So let's have a time for meditation here. Don't become centered in your heart. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just allow yourself to be here now. And so doing, we know that we are now established in the presence of infinite good. The life of God is my life right here, right now. The mind of God is my mind right now. So I open my heart to the influx of spirit, and I know that love that floods me heals my body and dispels every shadow of doubt and fear and anxiety. The truth of my spiritual being sets me free from the bondage of ignorance. Divine intelligence directs my thoughts and my path so that I may move into life's activities with a calm poise and assurance that never wavers. I dwell in the house of the Lord forever, and I rejoice in the divine companionship of this infinite presence that sustains me in all that I do. All that the Creator has is mine. This I accept, and this I express. And so it is. Namaste. I salute the divinity as you.
Thank you, Michael. That was very, very good. Just always reminding us that it doesn't do us any good to worry. It really doesn't, unless, okay, we might have it's okay to have a few moments of it once in a while, but again, use it to make your life better. See what you're looking at and see how you can fix it or change it. And I think that's an important process.
So what have you worried about? I have so much money in the bank.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with it all? Huh?
So again, it's all our use of imagination. I think what you remind me of, Diana, is again the whole idea of substitution. Is that okay? So what can I either do something about it? Can I accept it, or can I get some divine guidance on it? So I think that those three things are really good. And also, to start thinking about, and we talk about this weekly, about thinking about what you want instead of what you don't want.
Exactly.
And that really what happens is in the brain. I'm not talking, but just in the brain, what happens is that it puts us in a better state to be able to find solutions. When people are upset, and I've noticed this in myself and other people, when we're upset with something, that rather than than getting all upset, for me, I just go quietly within and then start working on some answers rather than getting all upset about stuff. So, all right, thank you.
Interesting. I already picked a topic for my blog this week, which is independence from fear. But I notice, that I get a lot more hits when I have scary topics and things that are problems to be faced, even though I try to bring some kind of positive resolution at the end of it. But trying to get more views when you put up a positive subject like holistic healing or something like this, you can't hardly get any views.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody else who has a comment or question?
Hold it. I think Carol Ann does. Go ahead,
All
Carol.
right.
John, the title that jumped into my mind when you were saying that was "Scared of the Things That Go Bump in the Night."
The Telltale Heart.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, then John, lead us in a song, please.
All right. Let's see if I can do it without glitching. I shut off everything but Zoom and song sheet, so we'll see. This is a kind of a patriotic song I wrote years ago for 4th of July type holiday, and it's calling for us to be aware of the real purpose of America, or the real mission, and get that restored from those that might be trying to take it away and so on. We have a purpose that must be known. Inform America, the light of liberty being shown. Inform America, ring the bell, let your neighbor know. Inform America, oh seeds of freedom now to sow. Inform America, love America, let freedom be known by everyone. Pass the message on and on. Love America. We're the land of promise, the land of light. Love America. Let's keep our mission well in sight. Love America. Counter those who would take it away. Love America. Help the light of freedom grow each day. Love America. Love America. Let freedom Each American has a part. Love America to preserve the nation of our heart. Love America. You can help in many ways. Love America. Come forward now, forward today. Love America. Love America. Let the love be known by everyone. Pass the message on and on. Love America. Love America.
Thank you, John. It's beautiful. Okay, so it is that time where we give everybody the opportunity to give, and there are several ways that you can give. You can go to sscofakron@gmail.com through the Zelle app. So you go to Zelle and then go to sscofakron@gmail.com, and you can donate that way, or you can send a check, much like Caroline does. Send a check and send it to put Summit Spiritual Center, put Summit Center, something with the word Summit, and then send that to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310, and we'll make sure that it gets into the account so that it can be used to pay the bills that we still have. So with that, I just want you to think about your gift, put it right hand over top of left, and just know with me that all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive is blessed right now in a very special way. And it is returned back to me 10 times or more, or to whoever gives 10 times more. So with that, I'm just grateful and thankful. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Good and more good, John.
Good and more good is mine. Ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good calls itself upon us, wraps itself around us. Give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good and more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so be it.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, Michael, I know we kind of did announcements, but we didn't really go. Let's do announcements. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to share?
Well, yeah, Caroline, we're going to have to do that again. What we did on Thursday night, that was wonderful.
We missed it.
We
Yeah.
spent an hour in the presence, which is really good. So
I missed it, not because I have a bad
to
memory.
round two whenever that comes. So
Yes, I think that's a great idea. The curious thing that happened was I had 3 or 4 people that never received, invitation until the next day. It was 12 hours later. They got it. So whatever happened on Zoom, I mean, it was wow. So I'm just going to call it divine order, and those that needed to be there were there. Yeah, but I've never had that happen before. I technology is
There's
working.
a lot of glitches going on, and a lot of interference on the internet
Absolutely.
last while here.
Mhm.
Like earlier, I got kicked off right in the middle of the song.
Right.
No.
But yes, let's do one every couple of months. I think that would be really good.
That would be nice. There's also glitches of mine, which is what my problem was.
That sounds like a book.
I forgot to.
Glitches of
Oh my
mind.
God.
I was so excited that while I was working, the power went out for a few minutes, and I thought, oh, good, I can run up to the restroom real fast while the power's out, and then when I am off, I'll be able to go Carol Ann's thing. Well, then I got the call at 3 minutes till I was supposed to be off. That lasted till 25 minutes, and I only had 15 minutes in between, anyways. Like, oh. So, that's the only problem. But
You should have just told him I'm not getting any power back in the last hour that I'm working. Just
I almost did that, but I don't lie. So, I
Well,
really,
again, I think the whole idea of it introducing Carol Ann presence, I think, we had people from Asheville, we had minister friend of mine from Denver. I mean, we had people from all over. It was just really good to, again, just to be on. And we ended it right at 8. I mean, right at 9. I mean, we were done. I mean, I clicked everybody off. And so, so people wouldn't, they wouldn't get into their mind. And so it was great. We had a great time. So, yeah, check out all of the stuff on, now we did not record that, but check out my other stuff on ntmedia.org. ntmedia.org.
okay. Any other announcements?
Well, this Wednesday at 9, I have my monthly chat opportunity at yeswise.com. You can find the link and information for a Zoom meeting like this. It's at 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Just chat about anything, holistic healing, what's going on in the world, what you're doing, what you think.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Okay, well, with that, let's have a moment of silence. And I'm going to, I don't know if you'll hear it or not, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to ring the bell, and then please take into mind, whether it be yourself or someone else or the world that needs some healing, and know for them and yourself that, and the world, that it is being healed right now in a very special, special way, and that it's being taken care of, and there's no reason to worry about it.
been on here for it's 2 hours. And you just now notified me that your stupid fucking movie. No thanks. Bye. And I'm just gonna schedule. August 5th on a Sunday. Please tell me it is. Fuck. Hate my life.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of peace. We are the people of peace. Sing out, people, sing out peace. We are the people of peace. We are the people of joy. We are the people of joy. Sing out, people, sing out joy. We are the people of joy. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love.